registered dietitian and yoga teacher, and I have a fond appreciation for the feet because I think they do a lot for us, and we usually underappreciate them until something does happen. So this is all going to be about getting into the feet. If you've had a really stressful day, this is a really good way to actually ground yourself and kind of chill. You will need a block, and if you don't have a block, you can always use a couple of books, or even if you have like a couple of books, or for one of them even like supported like a thick blanket that's pretty hard rolled up, that might work too. So the first thing we're going to do is get into the fascia of our feet. So I like to sit up on a block, and that just helps me kind of keep my hips a little bit higher than my knees, so it's a little more comfortable. And we're just going to work into the feet. So just a little massage here. Nothing too crazy. Again, I like to work my fingers in the webbing. And sometimes when I first started doing this, I could actually barely fit my fingers in between my toes. And as I've done it more and more, particularly like as if I'm watching TV or binging on Netflix or Hulu, this is what I like to do. So just a little bit of movement there. And if you've been on your feet for a long day, you've had a really long travel day, oh, this feels so, so good. So keep that in mind. So if you're had a long travel day, you're ready to sit on a couch, maybe sit on a couch, but maybe do some of this footwork of getting your hand inside each of your little fingers, inside each of your little gaps between your toes. And I like to use my thumb to kind of roll that big toe around. Alrighty. Move it back and forth, even side to side. Just creating a little bit more mobility in this joint is what it kind of comes down to here. I mean, I honestly could probably do this for a half hour, but you would probably be like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to move on to the next thing. So know that like this is a practice, and you can start off with where you're at, and then add on more time as you get used to sensation and as you kind of get going there. Alrighty. I'm telling you, I could literally keep going, but I won't. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is called elevated thunderbolt. So you're going to set your block aside, and from here you're going to tuck your toes, and then you're going to have a seat back on your feet. And so when you do this, reach back and catch each of your toes, pull them away from each other. And then if this is a lot for your feet, especially if you have any kind of arch of your feet sensation or injuries, bring your finger pads just right in front of your knees, and that's going to make it a lot more doable. If you have bad knees and this is not working for your knees, you can always come into this standing and just kind of point your foot in that standing position. If you need more sensation, that's when it is helpful to be on your knees, because you can push your knees forward and down, and that's going to really light things up in there. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I went a little far, now it's time to back up, which definitely can happen. If you think of how often we're in shoes, it's a lot, and our arches don't have time to breathe, our feet don't have time to kind of create that space. So doing these little movements can really help with that, and actually create more stability through the feet and the lower body. And just kind of wiggle that out. Good. And then from here, we are going to, actually we'll stand first. So we moved our feet around a little bit, now we're going to work them. So with a block, or that book, or whatever situation you got going, you're going to put your foot on the block or on the books or the block, and all four of your corners of your foot, so the top corners and the bottom corners, are going to be on the block. Now your other foot is just going to hang, and so by doing this, I have to work the stabilizers of my standing leg, and my other leg, the hip and even the ankle, has that freedom to kind of roam. Meanwhile, I can feel all the muscles in here really firing up and really working. Do that just a bit. You can always then latch your big toe on top of the block and curl it towards you if it's at the right height. And then simply switch sides. So stand on the block, spread your toes really wide, and let that opposite foot be nice and heavy. Then you can kind of wiggle it out, point and flex, roll it around to what you need to do. Get into those feet. Good. Come off the block. Stretch that calf one more time. You can even bow forward. That's going to intensify it quite a bit in the calf. But again, we're still getting into the Achilles and the heel and the foot there as well. And then you're going to have a seat on the block. And again, you want it to be at the low setting or the medium setting. But wherever you're at, it's going to be nice and cozy. And you're going to hug in one of your legs. And then let your other leg be long if that is okay for your hip flexors. Work into your ankle, create that mobility. Soften your eyes. And take a few deep breaths here. Switch sides. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. And then from here, you can take your hands behind your head, give your back a little more support, or just take your legs straight up. And again, you want your legs to be pretty heavy. You're going to close your eyes. And we'll be here for about 10 breaths. So what this does is it starts to kind of remove all of the lactic acid that's in your legs and let it flush out. All of the sort of connective tissue can kind of, get new oxygen as the blood flow shifts and literally is inverted. 10. Sink into the hips. 9. Relax your pelvis. 8. Let your head be heavy. 7. Surrender the weight of everything downward. 6. Breathe into the belly. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Slowly take your feet down, but before actually you do, notice if they feel any sensation of buzziness or lightness, airiness. They might and they might not, and not judging, but just simply observing. And then grounding your feet, keep your hips up and lifted for a few breaths, just to kind of resettle everything back down. An inversion can literally flip your perspective. And before coming out, it's important to really ground and connect. And I would invite you, if you want to take a Shavasana, if you have a wall close by, to slide up to the wall and extend your legs up. You can cactus open your arms. Again, this is a similar benefit of what we just did on the block. Or if you want to lay out all the way, go ahead and do so. I'm going to leave you right here with this. And please stay here as long as you need.